Good morning, this is Tech Live. Welcome, I'm Michaela Pereira.
And I'm Erica Hill.
Here's a look at the stories we'll be following today. Disney says it will object to any combination of AOL Time Warner and AT&T broadband unless the merged company gets rid of all its content holdings. We'll give you details in just a minute from now.
Tech stocks ending a 4-day slide, ending the day up slightly on Monday. We'll have full coverage of the day's trading action, including live updates from the NASDAQ market side at 25 and 55 past the hour.
And just how far away are we from realizing the dream of a fully connected home? We're going to try and answer that question for you today during our Tech Live cover story coming up in 30 minutes. But first up, Disney says it will oppose a deal between AOL Time Warner and AT&T Cable unless the merged company dumps its content holdings. Disney says the combined company would have too much control over what America sees, reads, and hears. If AOL does acquire AT&T's cable business, Disney says it would ask regulators to force the merged company to sell off its content holdings, ranging from the Warner Brothers movie studio to cable channels like CNN and TBS. Disney points out that the government has a long history of managing the cable and broadcast industries to avoid over-concentration. Back in the 1940s, the government forced Paramount to sell its movie theaters out of concern that the company had too much distribution control, while in the 70s it forced the broadcast networks to spin off their programming assets. Meanwhile, AOL Time Warner is not the only one looking at AT&T's cable business. Industry watchers say AOL's arch rival Microsoft may team up with Comcast to make a bid for AT&T's cable unit.
And speaking of teams, Amazon hitting a bullseye, according to the Wall Street Journal. People familiar with the matter say Amazon.com is expected to join with Target in an effort to boost the online giant's offerings. Now, no word yet on just which new goods will be added to Amazon's current offerings. The e-tailer hawks books, music, videos, and electronics on its site, to name just a few. And among Target's offerings, home furnishings, sports gear, luggage, and clothes. The report did not include financial terms of the deal. Earlier this year, you may recall, Amazon announced it was taking over the website of book retailer Borders and also recently struck a deal with Circuit City stores. The e-tailing giant has a base of 35 million registered customers.
Research in Motion is teaming up with Hewlett-Packard. RIM says it signed a strategic alliance with HP to make software that lets users of its BlackBerry pager print documents remotely. According to News.com, the software will allow BlackBerry users to print email and attachments to any printer within the same corporate network as the user's email account. An executive for Research in Motion says the program will work with any printer, not just printers made by HP. The new application will reportedly be available sometime next year.
Much of the financial news this morning being overshadowed. News reports showing a 737 plane crashing into the World Trade Center in New York. We go live now to our New York bureau. Stacey Tisdale is standing by. Stacey, we have the pictures up there of what we are seeing. An incredible amount of smoke coming out. In fact, it's hiding the other tower at the World Trade Center at this hour. Stacey, what are you hearing in New York?
Erica, I don't know if you're with me right now. The pictures I'm watching, I'm speechless. It is shocking. The top of the World Trade Center just exploded. The building just went up into flames. We are trying to look into a technology of this story. How does a plane, we're getting reports that it's a commercial jet, crash into the World Trade Center on a crystal clear day in New York? There are a number of brokerage firms. I'm speechless looking at these pictures right now. There's a number of brokerage firms in there. There's a number of technology firms in there. A lot of the analysts that we talk to who help us analyze the markets on a regular basis, their trading floors are right in there. We're going to try to get you more details on this. This is just what's turning out to be a shocking story. In just a moment, there's even some of the commodity exchanges are in there. This is going to have a major impact on trading today. Right now, Wall Street has basically come to a standstill. All eyes are just on this story. The World Trade Center, if you're not familiar with New York, is the heart of the financial district. It's right by Wall Street. A lot of companies have moved their buildings, their locations into the World Trade Center. A lot of technology firms, a lot of financial firms. This is just devastating right now to the financial markets, and we're going to keep you posted on what happens. But just to fill you in on what was happening with the markets prior to this, actually they turned south very quickly in response to this explosion that you're seeing. Investors had really been focusing on the wireless group, mainly because Nokia came out and made some announcements. Just if we could quick recap what Nokia said. Investors were initially taking comfort from news that the mobile equipment maker announced that it's going to meet its third quarter profit estimate made late July. The company said that U.S. demand is showing showing signs of a pickup. Market players had earlier decided to take that to mean that the glass is half full. They did not focus on the firm's projections that third quarter revenue are going to fall 5% from the same period last year. All eyes are on what's happening now, though, with the World Trade Center. I think we can bring up the pictures again for you there. The only reports that we've had is that there are reports that a plane is inside the building. It is the second tower of the World Trade Center. This, of course, an amazing international landmark and icon, which is why it's getting international attention right now. But from the financial world community, the World Trade Center is really at the heart of the U.S. financial markets. Some of the largest brokerage companies in the world having offices in there, some major technology firms having offices in there. Our biggest concern right now, we're trying to find out, a lot of the analysts that come to us to come to you every day to help us analyze what's happening in the markets, what's happening in tech. Their offices are right in the space that we're looking at right now that just exploded. So we're going to try to find out some more details as we get this. Of course, this is very questionable because it's a crystal clear day in New York. We have to get the full details for you, but I don't even think planes are allowed to fly over the airspace of the World Trade Center. There's some definitely tricky laws there that keep that from happening. So the fact that a plane could crash into the Twin Towers is something that we're going to look into. Of course, we're going to see if there were any technological glitches or anything that fostered that. But I'm looking at a picture right now on a station of the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. You could hear a pin drop. It's just a standstill. The New York Stock Exchange in proximity I used to work at both. It's actually about a 7-minute walk from the World Trade Center. So I'm sure people there heard the explosion. You are looking at the very heart of the United States financial district, and it's just remarkable that this could even be happening. So we're going to bring you some more pictures there.
How far away are you from? How far is our New York bureau away from the World Trade Center?
It is 3 subway stops. We're in Lower Manhattan, and the World Trade Center is in Lower Manhattan. So driving-wise, it would probably take you about 10 minutes.
So you weren't able to hear any noise from there?
No, we weren't able to hear the explosion. And we're close in proximity-wise. We're in the part of New York called Chelsea. Chelsea of Tribeca, and then the financial district. So the World Trade Center is down a bit. It's probably about a 10-minute drive. We didn't hear anything at all here.
Have you had any contact with anybody in the area?
I have been trying to get through. What we're going to do is, Michaela, I'm going to watch this with you as it unfolds, but as soon as we're done, I'm going to try to call some of the analysts that we talk to all the time, some of the exchanges that we talk to all the time that are based in the World Trade Center. That's the big concern. I'm just shocked. I mean, I was in the World Trade Center the day that the bomb went off there several years ago, and I remember how devastating that was. But to look at it structurally, you didn't see the damage. It's such a big building. It was amazing that something so explosive could take place within it. And you didn't really see structural damage. What I'm looking at right now, I just can't believe it. This building is like a Rock of Gibraltar, and to just see it on fire like this, to just see the top just blew off of it a few minutes ago, is just remarkable. And as I said, the World Trade Center is really the center of the United States financial market. And as many of you know, the U.S. financial markets are really the center of the global markets. So this is going to have worldwide ramifications. I was looking forward to giving you a report saying that the markets are up this morning because the futures look higher, overseas markets were higher, and Nokia came out and reaffirmed its profit estimate. But this explosion in and of itself has caused a 180 in U.S. and global financial markets as people try to decipher some of the effects. But I'm going to try to get some more information for you. I'm actually going to hand it back to you right now because I just want to call and check on some of the people that we talked to, and then I'll get right back to you as soon as I can.
Stacey, we have one note. We've just been given word that the New York Stock Exchange is being evacuated at this moment. Maybe you can get us more information on that. If you can make a phone call over there and let us know what you find out.
I'm just here. It's pretty chaotic in here, too. I'm hearing our bureau chief, and he's kind of yelling out headlines. It seems that indeed is the case. The New York Stock Exchange is being evacuated, and maybe we'll try to get a map of Lower Manhattan or something for you later. But the New York Stock Exchange is very close to the World Trade Center. It's actually only about a 7-minute walk. So maybe some of the floor of this New York Stock Exchange is so loud and so crazy. I worked down there for several years that I don't think they would likely hear the explosion.
Right.
But they are right now in the middle of fire truck hell, for lack of a better word. They're in the middle of emergency hell. That could easily be felt at the New York Stock Exchange because it is in such close proximity. A lot of exchanges down there, commodity exchanges, mercantile exchanges. So we're going to find out what's happening. We're going to try to find out some of the companies inside that are affected, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
All right, Stacey Tisdale, and for our viewers that are just tuning in right now, we should advise you that the reports say that a twin-engine plane, possibly a 737, has crashed in the World Trade Center in New York this morning. We're going to bring you further coverage and what kind of ramifications this is having, obviously, on the markets, because the World Trade Center is really a veritable center of the financial core of the U.S.
And if you are just tuning in, as Michaela just told us, the New York Stock Exchange currently being evacuated at this hour. Stacey Tisdale is in our New York bureau. She is looking into it with the folks in our bureau there, and we'll have much more coming at you from San Francisco after the short break. Please stay with us.
It's the crime of the century. Come on.
What was stolen?
Everything. Payroll, R&D, customer records, all the assets.
How could they get everything?
I don't know. You're the cops.
The room is completely empty. All the assets were in this room?
Everything. Ned, the servers. They stole all our servers.
No, we moved everything onto that one. It's going to save us a bundle. I sent out an email.
IBM e-servers running Linux.
What's a server?
They can save you a bundle.
Howie, have a seat. Listen.
Cool. It's just like a movie theater.
RCA Digital Home Theater from Radio Shack.
There's just one thing that's missing. A cup holder.
Enhance your home theater system with the amazing digital picture and sound quality of an RCA single or 5-disc DVD player. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Coming October 1st to TechTV. Hold on to your seats. We're going faster. Exploring farther. Growing stronger. Changing the world one breakthrough at a time. Starting October 1st, get a front row seat into the future. TechTV presents Tomorrow's World. Weeknights at 9:30, 8:30 Central. Only on TechTV's Tech Prime.
Obviously a shocking day for most of the nation today. We are going to go to Kurt Rohrman. A guest joins us now. He's fund manager with USAA Investments. Kurt, we're glad to welcome you to the show today. We wish it was under better circumstances.
Good morning. So do I.
Obviously, we just want to recap for our viewers that are just tuning in right now. There are reports that a plane, a twin-engine commercial plane, has crashed into the World Trade Center this morning. Kurt, I can imagine that you personally are affected by this.
Well, you know, I guess at this point we have so little information. I'm not sure what to say. You know, it's a terrible situation. As far as the market goes, if they're evacuating the exchanges, then you know we may not open today. But as far as the valuation of stocks, you know, just it probably won't have any impact. But you just don't know at this point.
So what happens when, like you said, the exchange doesn't open? What kind of effect does that have on the overall markets?
It probably acts just like a holiday. You know, the market just doesn't open, and we start again on Wednesday, assuming that the exchange is open.
Kurt, this is Eric Hill joining the interview. Good morning. Of course, we were seeing that futures were trending higher this morning. We'd like to know, do you deal with any folks in the World Trade Center right now? Have you been able to speak to any of your contacts in New York, and are you hearing anything from them this morning?
No, actually, I haven't. I've been sitting here watching what you're watching on the TV. Yeah, you know, the thing about trading is it's worldwide, it's global, it's everywhere. So there are certainly thousands of people down on the lower end of Manhattan that are dealing with trading every day.
And this, of course, as you said, the World Trade Center and the U.S. financial markets do have a global impact. Have you been seeing so far this morning or hearing about the impact of this tragedy on the global markets at this hour?
I just haven't heard anything, sorry to say.
It is too early really to tell, but we're seeing pictures right now, live pictures from New York, from the World Trade Center. You can see the amount of damage that's actually been done to the building, Kurt. Something like this is obviously going to have long-term effects. This is going to mean displaced workers, and obviously some of the offices are going to have to close down. I mean, aside from the loss of life, this is a tragedy all around, but this is going to have long-term effects, as you said, if the market even opens on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, there are offices all over Manhattan for the trading firms, so there's a temporary displacement certainly, and it's tragic lives we may be looking at here, but at some point the trading will resume. There's capacity throughout Manhattan for most of the Wall Street firms.
So they have backup plans for a case such as this, an emergency sort of situation.
Again, it's very unfortunate, but yes, I think probably, there may be selected firms, but most of the firms do most of their block trading up in Midtown Manhattan as opposed to Lower Manhattan. The trades actually get executed on the exchange downtown. So, the block trading at some point that's in Midtown probably won't be terribly affected. I guess there's a question on the telecommunications, but my guess is that's not at the top of the World Trade Center.
Well, Kurt, we thank you for joining us today, unfortunately on such circumstances, but we hope to have you back to talk tech stocks with us at a future time. Thanks for giving us your insight on the tragic occurrences of today's news. Kurt Rohrman is a fund manager with USAA Investments. Thanks for your time, Kurt.
We will have much more coming up for you after the break. Lehman Brothers Semiconductor and Computer Systems Conference is in San Francisco this week. We'll take a look at what is happening there. Stay with us.
You need to floss more.
You're not flossing enough.
I'd really like to see more flossing.
Your dentist was right, because flossing was the best way to prevent tooth decay, gum disease, and bad breath. Until now. Hi, I'm Steve Kettle, and this is Dr. Milner's Sonic Clean Between machine. It's a sonic-powered flossing system that's so unique it's been awarded 5 US patents. It's easier, faster, and better than old-fashioned flossing, and even cleans where floss can't reach. The Clean Between machine gets deep between your teeth to remove pockets of hidden plaque, rotting food particles, and stagnant odors.
I invented the Clean Between machine for my patients who just hated to floss. See what comes out from between your teeth. You'll never just toothbrush again.
No more awkward, flimsy floss to get stuck in your teeth and cut your gums. The Clean Between machine glides gently between your teeth. It's a pleasure to use. Look, brushing commits everything that's between the teeth, but even flossing can't get it all. Look how much is left behind. But the Sonic Clean Between machine does just what its name says. It gets between your teeth and really cleans them.
Good job.
Much better.
That's clean.
And there's no better way in the world to clean around braces or get under tight fillings, crowns, and bridge work. The Sonic Clean Between machine is compact and cordless, so you can take it anywhere. It comes complete with 8 interdental brush tips, and it's yours for only $19.95. Call now and we'll also send you the Sonic Toothbrush attachment, this gum stimulator, a Sonic tongue cleaner, and a convenient organizer absolutely free. It's a complete Sonic oral hygiene system for only $19.95, so order yours now.
To order your Clean Between machine, call toll-free 1-800-597-7733. That's 1-800-597-7733. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus shipping and handling to Clean Between Machine, 2 Morgan Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut, 06851. But for fastest delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-597-7733.
Coming up tonight on TechTV. Internet Tonight, a daily dose of the best of the net. Tonight at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific.
You are watching Tech Live at this hour. These are live pictures coming to you from New York of the World Trade Center. As you can see, the towers there engulfed in flames. We do have some updates for you now in the story. Reportedly, not just 1, but 2 planes that struck the towers in Lower Manhattan. in the financial district. Reportedly, the Associated Press reporting to us at this hour, one of these planes may be a hijacked 737. Again, one of the planes, a hijacked 737. This coming from the Associated Press. 6 people apparently dead at this hour. Hundreds are injured. The tower, as you may recall, was also the site of a terrorist attack back in 1993. That attack causing, as we know, massive evacuation, several deaths, incredible destruction. At about 9:10, a little after 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time this morning, the New York Stock Exchange was also evacuated. That is just blocks from the World Trade Center.
Now, Erica, I should interrupt. We're going to actually show you some video, very disturbing video, obviously, of one of the planes crashing into what I believe was the north. This would have been the south tower, because the north tower, I believe, was the first tower to be hit. This again is the World Trade Center. We believe, the reports are coming from the Associated Press, that one of these planes was a hijacked 737 commercial airliner, and it was, as you saw that video, very disturbing footage of it crashing into the, we're going to show it to you one more time, it crashing into the World Trade Center. As Erica said, 6 people reported dead, hundreds injured. As you can imagine, we think it's probably hit around the 50th or 60th floor into the side of the building. This is the home to many investment firms. As Stacey Tisdale just mentioned to us, the World Trade Center is the center of America's financial core and is going to have very severe repercussions, obviously, on the markets today.
Of course, also the center of the global financial markets,
Absolutely.
given the impact that the U.S. markets do have on that. We do know at this hour all 3 of the New York airports are closed. LaGuardia, JFK, we believe Newark as well. All New York airports are closed at this hour. Again, some incredible, very disturbing news, some shocking pictures.
And obviously the trading has been halted on the New York Stock Exchange because at this point it's been evacuated to prevent any further injuries, obviously, although they're not located in the same area. It's important to evacuate the whole area. We're going to be bringing you more information as this comes. Stacey Tisdale in our New York Bureau and our New York Bureau in general will be covering this story for us and bringing us whatever information they get breaking, and we'll bring it on to you.
We'll be back after this short break. Please stay with Tech Live.
Once, when you took on a job, you did the job, start to finish. At Siebel, we make application software that lets you give your customers personalized service. We know it works because we track our own customers to make sure they're successful. No one asked us to follow up. No one had to. It's our job. Siebel, good service is good business.
Medicare medication coverage. Asthma, chronic bronchitis, COPD, emphysema. Are you living with one of these conditions that requires respiratory medications? Are you having difficulty using your inhalers? Do you use Preventil or Albuterol, Atrovent, Combivent? Did you know that if you qualify, Medicare can cover breathing medications in liquid form? Call Med4Home to discuss Medicare requirements.
Call now, 1-800-335-6716.
Are you near a phone? Can you take down a number? Then call to find out about term life insurance at competitive rates from a respected insurer, Protective Life Insurance Company. A 35-year-old could get a $200,000 policy for less than $14 a month. A 40-year-old could get a $250,000 policy for less than $18 a month. For your free quote, call now. Matrix Direct, 1-800-574-0063.
Tonight on the Screensavers.
Coming up on the next Screensavers, Digital Camera Week continues. And Rick Salmon swims upstream to give us his 10 points to digital photography.
Plus, we got a tech reporter, Allison Oberholt, to give us a scoop on what's going on in high tech today.
And Megan will show you how to use your extra CPU cycles for no good cause. It's all in the next Screensavers.
The Screensavers, live tonight at 7, 6 Central, only on TechTV's Tech Prime.
You are watching Tech Live. We're bringing you live reports from New York. A tragedy this morning. 2 planes hitting the World Trade Center. This happening just before 9 a.m. It is just about time for the trading day. We are not expecting trading to begin at this hour. The New York Stock Exchange, which is in very close proximity to the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan, has been evacuated. The World Trade Center, the New York Stock Exchange, rather, being evacuated just around 10 after 9 this morning. We received reports of that. Just a quick recap of the story for you. Reportedly 2 planes, you can see the pictures there, the World Trade Center towers on fire at this hour. 2 planes reportedly hitting the World Trade Center, the first crashing into the north side of building number 1. A second plane, which appears to be a Boeing 737, hit the second tower on the south side. We are receiving reports from the Associated Press, Newswires, AP, saying that one of these 2 planes, a hijacked 737. We will have more on that as we do receive information. At this hour, we are hearing 6 people have died, hundreds are injured. Reportedly, the plane hitting around the 50th or 60th floor. This, of course, having a huge impact on the markets. The World Trade Center is at the heart of the financial district of Manhattan. U.S. markets at the heart of global financial markets. Hundreds of financial companies in the World Trade Center, in addition to commodities markets. We're going to go straight out to the NASDAQ market site at this hour. Jean Lee is standing by. Jean, I imagine that's very sobering news, and down there in Times Square where you are. Can you tell us what's going on at this hour?
Absolutely, Erica. I will be happy to pass on what I know at this point. Let's start with the markets. The New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated, and over here at the NASDAQ, they are considering a delayed open. I tried to get from NASDAQ officials how long they thought the opening might be delayed on. They are not ready to determine that. We will get more information to you on that front as soon as we get it. But this is no less than catastrophic. Just looking at the images on the TV, and speaking of the television, actually, transmission to a couple of the local television channels has been knocked out because, as you know, a lot of their antennas and satellites are put on top of the World Trade Center. So obviously, those are down. Cellular phone service has been affected as well. Basically, smoke was seen coming out of the north tower of the World Trade Center before 9 o'clock. And the smoke covered probably the top 20% of the North Tower. The first signs of the smoke happening before 9 Eastern. So fortunately, if we can say that in this kind of a situation, most of the people who work 9 to 5 were not in the building yet. And we have reports that those who were in the building, that evacuations began as soon as that first explosion happened, before the second tower was hit and the second subsequent explosion occurred. Early reports are saying that a plane crashed into the World Trade Center. I am citing NBC reports here of at least 6 people dead and 1,000 injuries. No doubt those numbers will change as the day progresses. NBC has actually cited a United Airlines employee who says that the first plane, the first crash, was an American Airlines 757 Airbus, and that reports say that it was apparently hijacked and forced to fly into that first tower. The FBI is evacuating, the FBI, I should say, is investigating this report of that first crashed plane. The second plane that crashed into the second tower did so 18 minutes after the first crash occurred. Looking at these images, I can't help but think of the early 90s when I covered the World Trade Center bombing, which happened in one of the garages under the tower. Just, what can I say? Just absolutely haunting and eerie, the images that are coming over the television right now. Eyewitnesses say that the first plane that crashed into the North Tower didn't appear if that plane was having trouble, and that again is reportedly the 757 Airbus that was forced to fly into it. Right now you have furniture, paper, debris, parts of the building, metal, all flying down onto the floor, glass crashing, all of this as a result from the flames that are erupting, and that as a result of the crashes that have occurred this morning. We'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Jean Lee at the NASDAQ market site. Thanks for that recap for us and for your insight there. As Jean mentioned, the NASDAQ is currently considering a delayed opening to its trading day. As we know, the New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated at this hour. Jean Lee noting this is catastrophic. Michaela, I can't think of any other words to describe it.
I think most of us are shocked. Catastrophic, I think, is the best way to describe it. We are going to go now to our New York bureau. Stacey Tisdale stands by. Stacey, we're learning now that that MSNBC is reporting that a senior government official is saying that the first plane was a 757
Michaela,
Airbus.
The latest that we have is that all bridges and tunnels in New York have been closed. All of our airports have been closed. Subways have been closed. New York, as you know, is such a hub for finance. It's such a hub for technology that that's really causing some devastation in the markets. But I'm just getting reports that President Bush is indeed commenting on this right now, and I believe we're going to go live to him.
Into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence. May God bless the victims, their families, and America. Thank you very much.
Okay. And obviously very emotional President Bush there. He's visibly shaken. This is probably obviously one of the biggest challenge in his presidential career thus far. Just looking at the pictures, if we can bring up the images again, the World Trade Center, 2 planes hit each other 18 minutes apart. We've been looking into finding out, getting for you the exact businesses that are in the World Trade Center, because it is a hub for the finance world. There's a lot of technology companies in there. And right now this has had a big impact on global trading. As you might know, the New York Stock Exchange has officially delayed its open, and they haven't officially suspended trading, but the New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated. It is in very close proximity to the World Trade Center, probably about a 7-minute walk. And one thing I'm very, very sorry to report is that I'm hearing that the whole Wall Street area, entire financial district, is just mass chaos, people running, complete hysteria down there. So I'm sure police are having a challenge keeping that under control as well. It sounds like the planned opening of the NASDAQ, I believe, is at 10 o'clock. We're going to confirm that for you. The New York Stock Exchange has a delayed, not suspended trading, but in such a chaotic environment down there, it's hard to fathom that we'd be able to get traders back in any time today and have an orderly session, but we will obviously keep you posted on that. Again, one of the things that we're looking into most here is a lot of the companies that are based in the World Financial Center, a lot of the analysts that come to us regularly on Tech Live, their headquarters are based right in there. Obviously, we haven't been able to get through to any of them. Also, cell phones are not working in the New York area, and I remember the last time I was in the World Trade Center, the last time there was a bomb in the World Trade Center, and it knocked out a lot of satellite service in New York, a lot of television service in New York. There are a huge number of satellites and TV companies that do broadcasting with their antennas on the top of the World Trade Center. We're going to try to get you more details on that technologically, what was knocked out as well. But for the moment, there's no cell phones. All New York airports have been closed. Our subways have been suspended. This is obviously having a tremendous domino effect on the way the rest of the city is functioning and operating, and it's basically brought New York to a standstill. And as Erica was mentioning, and as I mentioned earlier, the World Trade Center is at the heart of the U.S. financial markets, at the heart of the global financial markets. So this incident has indeed brought the world to a standstill. The FBI is officially saying that this plane crash was the result of a foul play. Two planes crashed into each other 18 minutes apart. There are reports that one was an American Airlines 757. There are also reports that there are 6 dead, 1,000 injured, but we are just obviously at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to finding out things like that. As again, what I'm hearing reports of is that there is mass hysteria in the Wall Street area and the financial area. So with all these people running around like this, it's going to be difficult for authorities to get us any official counts. It's going to be difficult for us to get really official readings from the brokerage firms or from the stock exchange of when they plan to start trading, but we're going to try to keep you as close to that as we can. We are not in the financial district. Our TechTV New York Bureau, we're pretty close to it, and we're losing some of our services as well. Our cell phones aren't working. I'm not sure how much that's spread out for all of New York, but we're going to do the best we can and get you as much information as followed. We spoke to some investment strategists in different parts of the country today. Obviously, this is the focus everywhere. They're just scratching their heads at the whole incident, obviously, as we all are, as we look at these incredibly graphic and disturbing images, but they can't even fathom the thought that we could resume trading today. But the exchanges have not officially closed. New York Stock Exchange, again, delayed opening. NASDAQ delayed opening, I believe, until 10 o'clock. We're going to get that official listing for you. But I'm just thinking of, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about all of the people that I talked to. I worked in this building for a time. All of the analysts that I talked to, I know Morgan Stanley, Dean Witters, their economic base and their trading floor is in there. Solomon Smith Barney's trading floor is in there. Some of the biggest brokerages in New York are based in these 2 buildings, and I just can imagine the surprise and the shock, excuse me, as I look at the images with you. I remembered when their bombs went off in the World Trade Center, how devastated people were. I know a lot of people who had aftershocks like that, like many of you on the West Coast might have after a hurricane, the nightmares, the panic. And looking at that and remembering that day, it was not this picture that you're looking at. It was not this mass destruction of seeing these 2 flaming towers that are icons for the entire world on fire.
Stacey,
and
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Stacey. You had mentioned earlier when you were talking about that bombing back in 1993 that we know it went off in the parking garage. It was in the base of the building, and you were telling us earlier how it is such a structurally sound building that, in fact, of course, it was felt, but obviously nothing to the effects of what we're seeing today from these 2 planes crashing into the World Trade Center towers. Give us an idea of what it was like on that day at the World Trade Center.
I was actually working in the World Financial Center. If you're familiar with the area at all, you have the 2 World Trade Center buildings, a airwalk, and then the World Financial Center. And I remember sitting at my desk, and everything fell off my desk, and our immediate thought and assumption was that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center, and that turned out not to be the case. It was just a loud shake, and what was interesting, and I'm glad you're bringing up this point, is of course when everyone runs to the window, there's no structural damage. This building is just a mammoth, solid, gigantic rock. So to see this structural damage, to imagine what it's like for the people that must have been inside the building, because I know what it was like for me being in a building attached to it that day. It's just mass chaos. I'll never forget seeing for hours and hours and hours just thousands and thousands of people streaming out of the building, hysterical, covered with soot, unable to breathe, as they try to evacuate these buildings and the buildings in the area. In the financial district, a lot of them are skyscrapers or mini skyscrapers. Remember, all of the electricity is knocked out in the area. The people that they are trying to evacuate are coming down, hundreds of flights in the dark, and that's stairways, and that's where, during the World Trade Center incident, several people actually had heart attacks in that instance. Yeah. It's devastating, so I can't imagine what this would be like when you look at the actual structural damage.
Well, and Stacey, the thing, when you're looking at this video, we've just shown it to our viewers, the first plane hit, and 18 minutes later, I imagine there were already people just trying to figure out what has gone on, dust themselves off if they could even move, and get themselves out of there, and then 18 minutes later to have that second plane hit. They didn't even have time to react.
I don't know how many of our viewers were with us when we first started this coverage, but when Michaela and Erica first came to me as we were trying to elaborate on this story, I started the broadcast with, there's been a second explosion. That was actually the second plane hitting. It was just 18 minutes apart. But you're painting an image of, people just being in chaos trying to figure out what the first one was. But looking at the pictures, this caused some. Right now there's only reports of 6 deaths. For the World Trade Center to be looking like this, there was some massive damage. I don't even know if people knew what hit them the first time, let alone be able to expect another hit like that coming.
Stacey, we should mention that we've just been given word that trading has been halted as well at the Pacific Stock Exchange. We're going to bring you more details once we find that out. So to recap, that means that the New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated. As Stacey just told us, the NASDAQ has officially delayed their open. Stacey Tisdale just told us it could be 10 a.m., but we haven't received final word on that. And we've just received reports that the Pacific Stock Exchange has also halted trading at this hour. If you're just tuning in, obviously there's been a disaster, a catastrophic disaster at the World Trade Center. By no means an exaggeration. 2 planes have crashed into the towers there, both the north and the south.
John, come to me. Okay, I just lost Michaela. I just lost program.
Go ahead, Stacey.
Okay, Michaela, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. I don't know if that has anything to do with what's happened at the World Trade Center, but just to give you some more details, according to Dow Jones, this is the latest that we have coming out, it was an American Airlines 767 coming from Boston. That according to Dow Jones. Again, an American Airlines 767 coming from Boston. The president is calling this a terrorist act, so apparently that's how it's being treated. And also we do have word, we're seeing on some of the wires, that the NASDAQ is going to try to pull together a trading session, and the trading is going to resume there at 10 o'clock. But Michaela just mentioned the Pacific exchanges are closing. Don't be surprised if we hear the NASDAQ rethink that in the next 20 minutes. New York Stock Exchange has suspended trading. They've delayed and opened. They haven't officially suspended trading. But keep in mind, the New York Stock Exchange is right down there with the World Trade Center. Again, 5 to 7 minute walk, whereas the NASDAQ is in a completely different part of town. So why we're seeing a technical domino effect in terms of other exchanges around the country and around the globe closing, and maybe they have the chance for a later open. The New York Stock Exchange, it's in the process of a real evacuation. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's very, very unfortunate, but people are only human. There's a very chaotic environment down there. I'm hearing just a mass hysteria in the streets, people running around, police having a hard time getting this under control if they can at all. So we'll keep you posted on that. But for the moment, don't expect anything close to a normal trading day.
Stacey,
if the NASDAQ might try to pull something off, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Stacey, if you can hear us, I know you were having some audio problems. Can you hear us, Stacey?
Erica, I'm just getting you back. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Sure. I was going to ask you if you've seen any reports of impacts on some of the global markets. As we were saying, the U.S. markets, of course, have a huge impact on worldwide trading, worldwide finance. It is getting fairly late in Europe at this hour. I'd say probably around 20 to 4, if my math is correct at this time. Are you seeing any reports of anything happen, say with the FTSE or in Paris or Frankfurt on those exchanges?
Right now, Erica, we're trying to get some reports on that. As you mentioned, those markets were near their closes of the day. I don't believe that they suspended sessions earlier, but there was just a 100% market turnaround as soon as this came up. You and I were talking earlier, we were looking for a positive market close. I'm trying to bring up the foreign markets as we speak, but it seemed like there was just a complete downturn in global markets as this news emerged. New York is really the financial center of the world, and this city has come to a 100% complete standstill. There's no subways, there's no buses, electrical services are out, phone services are out, and that's obviously having a domino effect on world and national markets. So that's pretty much what we're seeing right now. There hasn't been an official response of them suspending trading, however.
You also just mentioned, Stacey, on the report coming out on Dow Jones Newswire, it was, according to Dow Jones, an American Airlines 767 flight en route from Boston. Do we know where the plane was headed? There were early reports it may be headed to Los Angeles. Is that what Dow Jones is saying, that it was en route to the West Coast, or was it headed towards New York?
Right now, the latest that I have from Dow Jones, we're just getting bullet headlines. It said it was right now they're just saying that the plane was coming from Boston. We'll get you more details on that in a moment. But the New York Stock Exchange, I believe, has officially come out and delayed trading. They're still
Stacey.
seeing headlines come up. They're still suspending it.
Stacey Tisdale, we have just received reports. We're trying to confirm these reports right now that the Pentagon has also been attacked. Have you heard anything? We're seeing some pictures on our other monitor here in the studio of flames and smoke coming out of the Pentagon. Have you heard any reports of this?
The Pentagon, as you are telling me that in my ear, I'm looking at live pictures of the Pentagon. The Pentagon is indeed on fire. President Bush has come out and declared this a terrorist attack between what has happened at two of the most prominent, most historic, most important and influential buildings in the United States. You can bet that this is going to be perceived by investors and financial markets around the world as a terrorist attack against the United States. And Erica, you were just asking me about some global market reaction. I'm expecting all that to start happening in the next few seconds, because now we are looking at what's going to be perceived as a full-fledged terrorist attack and penetrating some of the most supposedly safest buildings in the United States, the Pentagon especially. So we're going to get you more details on that. Trading, for the moment, I told you that NASDAQ was going to try to open at 10 o'clock. And there was a chance that we were going to get reports from them that could be delayed. It's now 9:45 with especially this latest development from the Pentagon. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen very, very soon. But I'm trying to get some headlines as we speak, Erica and Michaela. Right now, the latest that we're hearing is that trading again at the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange has been delayed.
All right, Stacey, we're going to take it back from you.
We're going to take a quick break now. Please stay with us on Tech Live. We are taking just a short break. We will be back with the latest details for you on both the planes crashing into the World Trade Center in New York, in addition to reports that the Pentagon has just been attacked. Please don't go away. We are coming right back.
Morning, Harris paper.
Not today, Bob.
Looking for a wireless camera, huh, Harris?
What?
Heard you looking for a new job, Harris.
Need your carpets cleared up?
MP3 player?
Looking for a sale. Want to know your future, Harris?
Click here.
Look here.
Is your internet provider selling your personal information? That's not the way the internet was meant to be. Switch to Earthlink, the #1 provider of the real internet. Call 1-800-827-6485. Join now and you'll get a free color printer and scanner. With Earthlink, your personal information stays personal, and you get fast direct connection to the internet, 8 email addresses, instant messaging, and more local access numbers than any other ISP. We'll even help you tell your friends your new email address, all for just $21.95 a month. So switch to Earthlink today. Get a free color printer and scanner, and keep your personal information personal.
Love life not what it should be, huh, Harris?
Call 1-800-827-6485. Earthlink.
Is it 5/16 or 9/30 seconds? Does it take a standard socket or metric? What you need is the Gator Grip, the amazing socket that works on over 1,000 nuts, bolts, and fasteners. Watch, no matter what size fastener, nut, bolt, wing nut, square nut, eye bolt, hook, most anything, Gator Grip holds on tight to finish the job. Now hang a plant, work under the hood, or set up a Christmas tree stand quickly and easily. The secret are these retractable steel rods that form to fit most any size or shape, standard or metric. Even damaged and stripped bolts are no problem. Amazing! You get the Gator Grip with this heavy-duty ratcheting handle for only $19.95. Plus, we'll include this adapter for your power drills and drivers free. Gator Grip comes with a lifetime replacement warranty. If it ever fails, we'll replace it free for life.
Call 1-800-385-1600 to order your Gator Grip for just $19.95 or send check or money order to this address. Call 1-800-385-1600.
It has been a shocking day for the nation. We are going to our New York bureau right now. Stacey Tisdale stands by. We've been receiving more reports, Stacey, of further evacuations and further attacks.
Can't sugarcoat it. Let me just tell you the latest. AP is reporting that an aircraft has crashed near the Pentagon. Hence, that's why we're seeing the fires at the Pentagon. CNN is reporting that there is a fire at Washington Mall. We have no details on that. CNN is also reporting that the White House is being evacuated. And according to the latest wires that I'm seeing, a Palestinian group has claimed responsibility for the World Trade Center, according to Sky B. everything's frozen in New York City. The market trading's frozen. It's having a global impact on trading. People can't even fathom this, and especially investors around the world who look to the United States cannot fathom the fact that whatever is happening right now in our country is happening in what are supposed to be the most secure buildings in the world. This will and is rattling world markets. We're not even able to get numbers for you at this point. Right now, Michaela, the latest headline that I'm hearing, all airplanes in the United States are being grounded, according to the FAA. So the latest, just to recap everyone on the developments of the last few minutes. According to CNN, the White House is being evacuated and there is a fire on the Washington Wall. I'm adding to that, the Capitol is also being evacuated. According to the Associated Press, an aircraft has indeed crashed near the Pentagon, and that's why we're seeing a fire at the Pentagon. Earlier today, 2 airplanes crashed into the World Trade Center 18 minutes apart. We had a American Airlines 767 that was coming from Boston. And so far we have a Palestinian group, this according to B-Sky-B, claiming responsibility for the World Trade Center. But right now, folks, you're looking at pictures of the Pentagon, and that there was a plane crash near the Pentagon. I'm hearing different wire reports coming in through my ear. That's one of the exchanges, if our bureau chief can verify, has just said that trading has been halted indefinitely.
Stacey, the Chicago Board of Trade has just announced that it has halted trading indefinitely. I'm guessing that's probably what Mark, our bureau chief in New York, was referring to.
Yeah, that's probably exactly right, Eric. And you know, when we talked a few minutes ago, the New York's NASDAQ was going to try to open at 10 o'clock, but look at what's happened in the past few minutes. So right now we're looking again at pictures of the World Trade Center, and we're going, some of the biggest brokerage firms had their headquarters there. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, Solomon Smith Barney, Merrill Lynch has its headquarters right across the street at the World Financial Center. Of course, on a personal note, we're very concerned because a lot of the analysts and strategists that we talk to that help us try to decipher what's happening in technology and the markets for you and with you are housed in that building, and we have not been able to get through not on their phones, which is obvious, but cell phone service in New York is also not working. And New York airports have been shut. The latest report we heard from the FAA is that all United States airplanes are indeed grounded. Tunnels here are shut. Subways here are shut. The city has been brought to its knees, and now we're seeing a similar picture, unfortunately, unfold in Washington. Just to give you the latest developments, there has been, according to CNN, Washington Mall is on fire, and also that there was a plane crash near the Pentagon, and we just showed you live pictures of the Pentagon. Indeed, that building under fire as well. And now we're going to go over and find out what's happening from the latest at the NASDAQ market site and go to our very own Jean Lee. Jean?
Stacey, thank you. Lots of bulletins in the last few minutes. Let's start with what you were talking about at the Pentagon. What I am hearing from NBC is that conflicting reports at this point, actually. One story says it was a bomb that was detonated. Another one says that an eyewitness saw the tail of an airplane near the Pentagon. The report about the bomb detonation was that it went off at the heliport of the Pentagon. The very latest in terms of bullets say that the West Wing of the White House has now been evacuated, as has the Capitol building. The White House apparently had been given a threat of some sort. So apparently officials at the White House had been warned that something was about to happen. Also, the FAA has now halted all air traffic across the United States. This is just huge. In terms of New York, people are being advised to stay at home, definitely stay away from New York City. In the meantime, huge plumes of smoke continue to rise from the World Trade Center after those airplanes crashed into the towers this morning. The very brave New York area firefighters are trying to get into the building because that kind of a fire is one that has to be extinguished from within the building. but they're really having a hard time getting into the World Trade Towers because of all the debris that has fallen from the building, the chunks of metal. There are cars on fire that are in and around the World Trade Center area, so they are coming across a very tough time trying to get into the building, trying to get at and rescue anybody who might be inside. Stacy mentioned a lot of the firms that are in and around the World Trade Towers. We know that the top 2 floors is Cantor Fitzgerald's offices, and right now I'm watching live footage from the NBC affiliate, and it's the top 2 floors are just, you know, smoke is pouring out of those offices, as it has been for some time now. Let's go back over to Stacy.
Jean, you mentioned Cantor Fitzgerald. I'm making a mental list myself as we're having a hard time getting the official list of businesses and companies in the World Trade Center. There's Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, Solomon Smith Barney, Merrill Lynch right across, and the World Financial Center, along with a number of other small and large brokerages, are based right in there. We have the New York Mercantile Exchange is also by the World Trade Center, and we'll try to keep you abreast. As you can imagine, the area is being evacuated. It is, I'm being told, sheer chaos in the Wall Street area, which just makes your heart go out for the whole situation. You can just imagine how afraid those people are in that region, but apparently it's pretty much out of control. Erica had asked me earlier the impact this is having on global markets. Unfortunately, well, when we came in here this morning, I was very happy to be able to tell you that there did seem to be a turnaround in the global markets. Investors were taking comfort from news that Nokia confirmed profit estimates that affected all the global markets, that had a positive effect on the U.S. markets. Traders and market strategists I spoke to this morning were in an upbeat mood, but since the crash has happened, U.S. markets plummeted. New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated. NASDAQ has delayed trading. Erica and Michaela were telling us earlier that we had the Pacific exchanges fall as well, but just to give you a quick global, we had the DAX fall 9% after the crash, the Paris CAC fall 5%, and London's FTSE fall 3.3%. I'm going to get you some more numbers, but I'm going to send it back over to the Jean Lee.
Stacy, we want to add that Dow Jones is also confirming what NBC had said earlier, that the first plane crash was from an American Airlines 767 plane inbound from Boston. That was involved in a North Tower crash, and subway lines have been shut down, as you mentioned. Also, the crossings in and out of the city, the tunnels, the bridges have all been shut down. Earlier, there were some buses in the tunnels trying to get where they had to go to. Those were turned around. There is a bit of traffic being allowed out of New Jersey, but I'm sure that is going to be shut down very soon as well. The New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani is due to address the city very soon. And as you know, all subway service has been suspended. People being advised to steer clear of New York. And I would say, you know, if you are in New York, just stay where you are. Do not go out, and especially do not head downtown, Stacy. Let's send it back to you.
Jean, I have a question for you. We know that there at the NASDAQ market site, you're sort of in a fishbowl. All of the reporters at the NASDAQ market site, you have a bit of a glass wall. Folks can see, and you can see the people on the street. You were mentioning all the debris, both you and Stacy telling us about, of course, the incredible debris that is littering the streets around the World Trade Center. Stacy telling us she has heard reports that it is just chaos in the Wall Street area. What are you seeing where you are? We know you're in Times Square. You're in a different area of the city,
right.
but are you seeing anything from the folks outside the NASDAQ market site in Times Square?
There are, I can see behind me, there are a few people. I should explain to you, the outside structure of the NASDAQ, as you said, is a fishbowl. We have several plasma screens, and each plasma screen has a different broadcast from a different network. There are people very interested in what is happening. I can see feet from where I am because I'm on the mezzanine level, but there are people on the ground level walking by, and some of them just stopping and staring and just trying to comprehend what has happened. And there are, with the NASDAQ staff, I've seen a couple of the NASDAQ staffers go home because, you know, since the NYSE was evacuated, the NASDAQ is the #2 biggest stock exchange here in the United States. There are people here fearing for their safety as well.
All right, Jean Lee at the NASDAQ market site.
We should also just mention, obviously, trading is veritably halted. The global markets have been drastically affected. We just got news that Canada bonds, or Toronto stocks have fallen. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange has delayed the open. We know that the NASDAQ has delayed their opening, but they still may try to salvage somewhat of a trading day, which we don't think is very hopeful. The New York Stock Exchange has been evacuated. The Chicago Board of Trade has halted trading on the Dow Jones.
The Pacific Stock Exchange,
Exchange has also shut down. So we know we are trying to get communication through to our Washington bureau chief, Peter Barnes, who is in Washington. We know that the Pentagon has been affected. We also know that a plane has gone down near the White House, and that hit is, or near the Pentagon rather, and the White House has been evacuated. So we're trying to get through to our Washington bureau. Peter Barnes is there to see if we can get the latest from him. At this point, I think it's best we take a break and regroup, and we'll be back with more Tech Live in just a moment.
Hello, Mrs. Lindsay. William?
Hello, Stephen.
You're not by any chance computer shopping, are you?
Mm-hmm. If I can get some help.
Well, right now, you can get a complete Dell system with an Intel Pentium 4 processor, which is so nice, for only $899.
Really?
She's intrigued. Excellent. Because right now, it comes with your choice of a printer or a Palm M100. And as far as service and support, Dell's won more awards than any other PC company in the last 5 years. Just call or go online. Tell them what you want, and right to your front door comes America's favorite PC.
Thanks, Stephen.
Now you can get a Dell desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor, which delivers performance where you need it most. And 6 months of DellNet by MSN Internet access for just $899. Call or go online today and get your choice of a printer or Palm M100. There's great deals on notebooks, too.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
It's the relentless nature of the storm. It's the thrill of exploring the world unknown. It's how weather affects your life. It's Atmospheres, a weekly magazine show